Hello guys, and welcome to another ProfileTree video. So in today's video we're going to be looking through website development. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started. So with website development, of course, it's pretty much a process of creating a website. You'll have your initial planning and design stages to the final implementation and of course your launch. Now the development process typically involves a couple of steps just to get you going into creating your website. So I've just made a little list here on some of the steps to actually creating a website. Now the first step there is of course to get organized. Now getting organized means that you'll be pretty much just planning. This is your planning stage, so it involves defining the website's purpose, your target audience, the goals, and it also includes the planning site architecture, content, and functionality. So what you're mainly focusing on this part is your wireframes, the sort of sketching and design, a couple of things that you may want to add to your website. Of course, there's a couple of key factors to involve in. So say you want to build a website for FAQ or have a website with FAQ, you can go ahead and do so. Have a website with contact details, you can go ahead and do that as well, and a couple of other pages, depending if it's going to be an e-commerce website and a personal or commerce website. So that's a couple of things that you just need to involve and take into consideration when actually building a website. Next step there, and this would more involve within using a website builder, which is to choose a website template. Now, there are several different website builders out there, like Wix, Squarespace, Shopify, you name it, it's all out there. They would have templates to offer for your website build, and they would already be pre-built. Now, you can completely miss this step, and you would go through a design process step, and that basically means where you're thinking about the layout, the color scheme, the sort of typography that you're going to use, and then that's when you're starting to involve coding. So if you're doing a build from scratch, this would more be towards coding. So that's when you have a website built using programming structure like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, or if you're wanting to use Python, PHP, all those different languages for creating a website. And the next one there is to actually customize that site. So once you're getting everything or you're having a flow of things, that's when you're wanting to go ahead and create your actual website. That's when you want to customize it, add the content in, add the different color schemes that you had in mind. That's where you begin to customize your website. The most important one there now is to choose a domain. So that is step 4. Now when you're choosing the domain, you need to consider a catchy name. So depending on the actual brand's name, it's actually great for those who are completely starting off from scratch, new business idea or anything like that. You're starting off from scratch and you're still thinking of a name. This would be a great opportunity to pick one that's a little bit more unique. Then there's a couple of tools that you can use to help you or to help assist you for finding the best SEO type domain name or name of the company, of course. So yes, you could choose a domain. There are a couple of different plans available. Depending if you already have a domain, you just need to make sure that you point it directly to the correct area for visitors to actually visit that website. And then, which I actually did miss there, which is testing. Well, it's almost like optimizing your website for search engines. So the testing stage pretty much involves the website's functionality, its performance, and the usability to ensure it works properly, and the fact that it would be user-friendly. So that's a very, very important stage to the actual site. You want to make sure that you involve user testing, functional testing, performance testing. It's just to make sure everything's running smoothly. You don't want to be running a website with non-clickable links, no social media that's linked to it if you do have social media. So that could be a big, it would be pretty much a disappointment for any visitors coming in expecting a website to work functionally, and none of it's working at all. So it's very, very important to test it before actually going to the step 5 and 6. So step 5 would be to actually optimize your website for search engines. What that basically means is search engine is called SEO, and that's when you would more look into some optimization tools that will help improve your website's ranking on search engines, and of course making it easier for people to find your website. You want to make sure that you do that, as it will help drive traffic to your website and of course increase your online visibility. At the end of the day, when you're creating a website, you're trying to mark an online presence and to try to promote your business or to promote your website, whatever one it would be. So SEO optimization is very, very important, and it's key to a website's success. Last one there would be to launch your website. So launching is pretty easy. Of course, that's when you make sure everything's completely fine from testing. Of course, your development stage, your design and planning, just all the way from the start. That's when you want to make sure that once it's tested, once it's approved, just quickly go over it again. Just make sure and ensure everything's optimized correctly. That's more to do with just make sure, yeah. So once the launch has happened, that's pretty much it. Of course, launches only will happen if you have tested the website and resolved any issues, and then that's when the website can be launched. And then one thing I didn't note there was the actual site maintenance. Now, it's important to maintain a site. No, it's like your car, it's something that you would have to maintain. Anything that you would have to look over and over again. So once that website's launched, it's always important to monitor and maintain the website to ensure that it's running smoothly and of course meets the user's needs. This may involve some updates on the content. It can involve some bug fixes. Overall, just optimizing the performance. There's a couple of different applications that you can use or tools that you can use to help boost the actual performance of the website, or just to check the website overall. So just to demonstrate some of the tools to help with the performance, of course we have our website here, and you can see as well that it is optimized to a tablet view or a mobile view. That's one of the pluses on that. Now if we click here, you'll be able to see Lighthouse. Now once we've selected Lighthouse, this just gives us a general overview. It audits the website, checks the performance, see how it goes. It checks the SEO, the best practices, the analytics, just a couple of things that it takes into account for the site's performance. Now it'll give you a report once this is completed. So as you can see, it's running through everything, completely everything. So at the minute, as you can see, the performance is at around a 43. Now it's saying that there were issues affecting this run of Lighthouse. Of course, I have some Chrome extensions added, so it may improve the performance after that. As you can see, it gives you a tree map, so you can view a tree map from this as well. So quite a lot of things to look at when you're actually creating a website. Pushing more towards the other things like a website builder. Now, if you are creating a website, you can consider the use of hard coding, which is to use Visual Code, and of course start using some programming languages. You could use Visual Studio as well. Any other platform that you think would be beneficial towards you in creating a website. Now, as I've mentioned, there are ways to create a website. You don't need to be technologically good at making a website. You don't need to have any sort of development skills in order to create a website. That's why website builders online are here to help. So here we have one, which is called Wix. Now, as you can see, easy startup. I'm able to choose that template that I was on about earlier on, and I can create websites as well. So I can list out all the different templates that are available on here, check out some of the blank templates, of course some of the collections as well. So easy enough to create a website from here. I'll actually go ahead and demonstrate one of the sites that are up and running. So if I go ahead and design the site, so this was a site that was actually one of the templates. As you can see, it's going to be fairly easy to create. So you'll have, with a website builder, they will tend to pretty much offer areas for elements like here. So I'm able to pretty much just drag and drop parts. So there's like a button, and I can go ahead and select for a view more button. It snaps onto objects. So you don't even need to worry about Y and X axis when you're using CSS, something that you don't need to consider. CSS, HTML is pretty much there. That's it. This is it. If you did want to add some HTML coding onto this, you can embed some code. As you can see, there's HTML and custom element, which is CSS. So you can embed that in, and you can type in your code there, as you could see, and you can try to get something to work. So that's what's really cool about that. And this would apply to some website builders, not most, or not all, sorry. But I would say I would consider Wix to be one of the better website builders out there. So that would be one to use as well. Now, WordPress would more be a open source. As you can see, it's an open source software. It's what majority of websites actually use. They're able to grab some plugins for this and a couple of apps or marketing tools that will help assist with the SEO of a website. As I said, majority of the websites actually use WordPress, so you would only be considering to use more complex websites if you're doing the you'd only use WordPress for more complex sites. So you could use Elementor on that actually. So there's a couple of different plugins as well that you could use, and then you would just connect your domain. You could use Cloudflare, Flywheel, a couple of different areas there in order to actually push your website live. Now, in order to gain access, you do need to do a WP login. It's not just something you log into like Wix. So that's one thing to consider when you're creating a more complex website. But guys, that pretty much reaches the end of the video. Of course, this video is just a little insight on the sort of development that you could do for your website. There are multiple ways in creating a website, as I've shown, where you can hard code it using visual code, and then push it towards WordPress, and then that's when you can upload or launch the site, or of course use website builders like Wix. You've got Squarespace, Weebly, you've got Shopify, a range of different website builders that I would highly recommend to check them out, see what one would suit you best, and then create a website from there. But anyways, folks, hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you guys have any questions at all, please do leave them down in the comment section below. But other than that, I'll see you guys for the next video. Thank you very much.